It's a little ironic that many hobbies and behaviors that gentlemen historically have indulged in are perhaps not all that gentlemanly. Today, we're going to examine the 7 deadly sins associated with the gentlemanly lifestyle to see if they still have a place in a modern gentleman's life. As much as we like shows like Mad Men, Boardwalk Empire, and Peaky Blinders for their outfits and depictions of life during the golden age of menswear, many of their characters aren't exactly role models. That's because they often engage in activities that, while fun and glamorous, are generally considered vices by society at large. In today's video, we've identified 7 vices typically associated with gentlemen. For each example, we'll be explaining what makes these vices so alluring to indulge in, followed by what makes them sinful and potentially even dangerous. These are activities that might be acceptable in moderation for some people, depending on your beliefs, but could just as easily be viewed as completely negative by others. Ultimately, it's your life, and provided that you're not hurting others, choosing to engage in none, some, or all of these behaviors will come down to what you value and enjoy. But part of being a gentleman is also respecting others' behaviors and beliefs, even when they don't align with yours. And having this self-awareness and respect towards others is something that everyone should practice and develop within their life. It is worth noting here at the start that for gentlemen, self-control largely distinguishes vices from hobbies or indulgences. So some people can indulge in some of these vices without any major life consequences, and others can have their lives ruined by them. Understanding your limits and conquering any of your less desirable predispositions is at the core of what it means to be a gentleman after all. Number 1, gambling. Gambling is one of the oldest vices around, playing into the survival instinct of risk versus reward. Casinos and other less reputable institutions have been gamifying this core desire for millennia in order to make a profit on those looking for that rush in a controlled environment. Gambling in moderation can be a fun opportunity to experience unique thrills, potentially win some easy money, and acknowledge the fleeting nature of material possessions. Our writer, Eb, regularly visits the municipal casino in Venice, Italy. And while he's yet to actually make any money, he's always having a lovely evening. But gambling can become destructive when it's viewed as an easy way to make easy money, as the sunk cost fallacy can have you spend way more than originally intended. Many betting games are intentionally designed so the player will gradually lose their money the more they play, leading to a potentially devastating cycle that can ruin your life if you bet more than you can afford to lose. The safest way to avoid this spiral is to gamble with a predetermined amount of money that's set aside before entering the casino, and to view that money as what you're spending on an evening's entertainment. That way, it's a pleasant surprise if you do win some money, and not a big deal if you lose it. Number 2, smoking. Smoking has been a favorite pastime for many gentlemen, and was extremely prevalent during the golden age of menswear. America has been producing tobacco since before it was America, after all. Nothing quite replicates the total sensory experience that comes from a well-made cigar. And while tobacco products are increasingly frowned upon in the modern age, there's still a sense of community and camaraderie from those who like to smoke socially at institutions like cigar bars. And while an occasional cigar every year or a few months won't have the same health risks as daily use, there are still side effects associated with it. It's good to understand this before smoking recreationally and to make informed decisions about whether or how much smoking you think is acceptable for you. For a more in-depth look at what it means to smoke like a gentleman, join Jack and some other friends in our conversation here. Number 3, drinking. Drinking is one of the most common vices that exists in nearly every culture. And while some religious beliefs strictly forbid indulgence in alcohol, just about every community has a bar or area where drinking takes place. These places create a sense of community and help bring people together to have a good time and enjoy each other's company. And enjoying fine beverages from wine to whiskey can be a connoisseur's delight. But it's no secret that overindulging in alcohol can have a slew of negative effects associated with it. And some recent research even seems to link any volume of alcohol consumption with health repercussions. More significantly, alcoholism, drinking and driving, health risks, and lowered inhibitions have caused plenty of harm. So, moderation and what works for you is key here. Some people can't drink at all because of its destructive qualities, and some can without issue. Therefore, it is critical that you understand and abide by your own limitations. Number 4, gourmandism. What's a fine wine without a fine meal? So let's turn to discussing the enjoyment of fine foods. There is nothing wrong with appreciating good food. Many people who relish delectable dishes are inspired to try their own hand at cooking, which can be a truly world-expanding hobby. Raphael, in particular, has really thrived on his continuing culinary journey. But it's also becoming increasingly easy to overeat in today's society. In some ways, overeating isn't recognized as a vice in the same way that smoking or drinking are. But the negative effects of unhealthy weight gain and poor nutrition can be just as destructive. Not to mention how much harder it becomes to replace those items in your wardrobe that no longer fit. Therefore, finding a good balance between having the food you like with a healthy lifestyle is critical for your long-term health. Number 5, Sartorialism. Our channel is all about appreciating the love and craftsmanship that goes into quality tailoring, and helping others improve their self-confidence by expressing themselves through classic menswear. But there are some pitfalls to watch out for when engaging in this interest. It can become easy to look down on others for not also taking an interest in dressing well, breaking style rules, or not wearing sufficiently elevated and quality tailoring. Early menswear influencer Beau Brummel typified the destructive potential of sartorialism by spending his days as one of the first menswear trolls, literally sitting at a window and making fun of the outfits of the people who walked by. So while we might wish more people enjoyed dressing up as much as we do, avoiding snobbery and not gatekeeping what classic style is to others is a superior way to achieve this. The negative side effect of sartorialism is something that we've been engaged with in the past, but now we realize it's much more genuinely to promote an inclusive space where everyone can see what draws us to dressing well, instead of alienating those who aren't into classic style as we are. And unlike Mr. Brummel, we've certainly got better things to do all day than to sit around belittling others. Is today's outfit an example of sinful sartorialism? Let's find out. For today's outfit, I am wearing a sport coat. This is in a pretty loud pattern. It is a Prince of Wales and it has blue window pane to it. I paired the jacket with a lighter denim shirt. On the bottom, I am wearing a pair of charcoal trousers. And then on my feet, I am wearing a pair of J. Butler loafers and they are in brown. My pocket square today is in a lighter blue tone, goes well with the jacket window pane, and it also has a bandana graphic to it, so I think that mixes in, giving another pattern to the outfit overall. And on my wrist, I am wearing a Timex automatic with a blue band to it. And for my scent today, I'm wearing Azzurro from the Roberto Ugolini collection. For this fragrance, as well as other menswear accessories, make sure you check out the Fort Belvedere shop. Number 6, Epicureanism. Having covered 2 precise examples, gourmandism and sartorialism, let's just make one of our vices a catch-all and call it Epicureanism, a love of finer things in life generally. There's nothing wrong with a broad appreciation for excellence, as it glamorizes everyday life and helps us to build our confidence and knowledge of the world. Loving fine silk sheets, high-end art, crystal stemware, or luxury cars certainly doesn't make you a bad person. However, becoming obsessed with these things can lead you down a path that promotes elitism, materialism, and greed, if your appreciation is not held in check. While nice things are certainly nice, true happiness can rarely be derived from material things, and you should never engage in disreputable or destructive behavior while pursuing them. Which is to say, never unfairly hurt people to acquire things. If you find yourself too entrenched in Epicureanism and the never-ending pursuit of exceptional products, it's important to take a step back and remember what truly brings you the most happiness. Often, spending time with our family, enriching our friendships, and overcoming adversity is more fulfilling and brings more long-term contentment than the pursuit of worldly possessions. Number 7, philandering. From Giacomo Casanova to James Bond, gentlemen, especially well-dressed gentlemen, have been judged and valued for their ability to attract sex interest. Romantic endeavors and conquests can be fun, exhilarating, and exciting, so long as everyone is having fun and feeling appreciated. However, engaging in hedonism at expense of others is often where this can quickly become a vice. Human beings don't exist only to satisfy your sexual pleasure and should never be treated in such a way. Don't objectify or mistreat romantic partners, seek enthusiastic consent, and always be open about your intentions. By lying, concealing information, or withholding your intentions or entanglements with others, you can cause serious harm. Just look at how messy Don Draper's or Tony Soprano's lives get from this. And while everyone will have different beliefs on the best way to approach your love life, avoiding dishonesty and only getting involved with partners who want the same from the relationship as you do is often the best policy. Historically, the wealth and privilege of gentlemen shielded them from the repercussions of their actions, allowing many of them to engage in downright sinful behavior without consequences, forever blending in popular conceptions, a connection between decadent living and a gentlemanly lifestyle. As what it means to be a gentleman changes in the modern world. However, it is high time for all gentlemen to take responsibility for their actions. Modern gentlemen should therefore understand how to control themselves and to be respectful of themselves and others when indulging in vices. It is also important to recognize the way that these behaviors have been glamorized by the media we consume and the industries that they profit from, which often obscures the darker realities that come with engaging in vices excessively. But, as we have attempted to show, in most cases, the behaviors we've discussed today only transition from indulgent to really sinful when they become destructive. Ultimately, how and when we engage with these vices is what determines whether something is really a sin and how gentlemanly one can be while engaged in vices.